Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football. We're live for Aston Villa against West Ham United on That's Football. Hope you're all doing well this Sunday afternoon. Not been a super Sunday for Premier League. I mean, this is a super Sunday. It's a cracking game, but there's not been a lot of football, have there? Oh my God, what's that? I can't say what I'm looking at. I don't know. International break. So if you know, you know. International break. I hope you're all doing very well. We've not really had a great start to the Super Sunday. But one thing it has allowed me to do is we've had a lot of rain in the UK this weekend, and therefore there's been a lot of amateur football cancelled, so my kids haven't played football today, and there was no afternoon match. So basically, had a lovely Sunday lunch, pork. It was a Sunday lunch that I ate. Roast potatoes, red cabbage, runner beans, stuffing, applesauce, gravy, the carrots, the absolute works. Went for a lovely Sunday walk, and then on the way back, saw a pub and thought, you only live once, and popped in and had a bit of a couple of Sunday afternoon pints. So there was crackling, Zippy. There was crackling. You can't beat a bit of crackling. We can't beat a bit of crackling. So yeah, very, very, very satisfying Sunday. This is what life is all about. This is what Sunday is all about, isn't it? A lot, autumnal Sunday lunch, Sunday walk, Sunday pint, Sunday football. I tell you what, it doesn't get much better than that. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant. I hope you've had a good Sunday yourself. Aston Villa, there they are. 6th in the league, 16 points. The opportunity to go to 5th tonight if they can beat West Ham, and I think they will. I'm looking forward to this game. West Ham are more than capable. But this is the sort of game that I think that if you are Aston Villa and you have got delusions of grandeur, then this is the game to go and win. West Ham are obviously a decent side, but let's go through the teams. Martinez in goal, Konza, Kamara, Torres, Digne, Cash, Zaniola, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, Diaby and Watkins. It's a good side. And then you've got West Ham with Areola, Kufal, Zuma, Agard, Emerson, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Bowen, Soucek, Paqueta and Antonio. Another good side. It's an interesting game. I don't know what we've got on prediction. Aston Villa, we've had nearly 3,000 votes on the poll. 61% are going with a Villa win, 23% are going with a West Ham win, and 16% are going with with a draw. Yeah, I mean, look, I'd fancy Villa to win it, but you just don't know. Gazzy says you look a little bit pale. I feel fine, mate. I feel absolutely fine. Yeah, it's a bit cold, but I feel fine. Is Zaniola also going to get a ban? Well, I did think that, but Tonali was on the bench yesterday. So top 5 predictions, Mark, says Jordan. I'm open to questions, but at the moment I can't give you a top 5. I can't give you a top 3 at the moment. I mean, well, I can give you a top 3, Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City. I can't give you what order it's going to be in, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. Thanks for your super chat, Jordan. I appreciate that. Get your questions in. Give us a wave, says Singer. I have said hello. You don't need a wave as well. Right. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a Villa win, but it wouldn't surprise me. West Ham got a result here. They're having a good season, West Ham, and they're looking a much better team than they did last year. But, yeah, this is, somebody actually said to me today, why are you doing a watch-along for Villa against West Ham? And I said, because this is the difference between what everybody does these days and why I do it. I don't do it because of, fame or fortune. I do it because I love football and I love, I would watch this game. So why would I not do a watch along for it? I mean, look, if I'd been offered a box at Villa, I'd have gone there. But I didn't get offered a box at Villa, so I will watch this at home and I'll watch it with you, good people. I mean, I'm not going to lie about it. The commercial side of Aston Villa Football Club and the hospitality section is very, very nice. I've been a few times over the years. Best one to go for is the 3 o'clock kickoff. You get there at 12:30. You can drink as much as you like. You get a 3-course meal. They normally have the 12:30 game on. You go out and sit in padded seats like Emery's sitting in there. You go back in at half time, you have another pint, and then at full time you go in, have a few more pints, have something else to eat, and they normally bring man of the match out to have to have a bit of a chat with you. So yeah, I can't. I'm not against. I'm not against hospitality at football grounds. I don't know why people are. I mean, you can't beat the purity of just getting a normal ticket, but there's something to be said for getting there a bit early, a few pints, having a comfy seat, not having to queue up for your drink. Waiter or waitress, I'll have another pint, lovely. Anyone else have Villa in their Premier League teams? It says get stuck in. And do you think Alvarez has adapted well in the Premier League, says Arturo? Well, I'm looking forward to looking at Alvarez today. Nice acknowledgement of Sir Bobby Charlton here. I'm loving the fact that there's so much love for Sir Bobby from so many different fans of so many different clubs as well. It's massive for Manchester United. And David Moyes, obviously, as a Man United manager, will have had a relationship with Sir Bobby, as anybody who did at Manchester United. But lovely to see so much love for Sir Bobby, who sadly passed away yesterday. Legend, not only of Manchester United, not only of English football, but a legend of the game. You saw Barcelona paying their respects yesterday, and many other clubs around Europe as well, and the world. An absolute legend. There we go. I think Alvarez is an interesting one. I think he's adapted really, really well to the Premier League from what I've seen so far. And I think West Ham have improved massively this year. So look, they've got an opportunity to go and get a really interesting result here today. But Villa have sort of been that team this season, haven't they? That have they've lost a couple and then they've won the rest. They don't draw games, Villa, and it's a good way to be. I remember Arsenal doing this as well. Like, you can lose, it's fine to lose, but then go and win 2 or 3 afterwards, and that's what it's all about. But anyway, the game's about to kick off here. Aston Villa at home to West Ham. Been a good team to watch, this Villa, and we're up and running. There we go. Ronan's putting off his homework to watch this. We've all been there. Fair play to both teams, says DYK. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to That's Football. You're all very welcome. What I will say is, if you listen to the podcast, Goldbridge Saves Football, out every Tuesday and Friday, on a Friday, me and Will play a game called Goldbridge. And basically what we do is we have to pick 5 goal scorers from the weekend. Now, he so far has got 2. And I so far have got 2 out of the 5. I went for Wizza and Alvarez have scored for me. I've also got Ollie Watkins today. And West Ham have nearly just gone 1-0 up here. There was an offside anyway. So yeah, I do have that. I've got no fancy Premier League stuff going on today. I've got Son tomorrow, which we're doing a watch along, but he's miles off there. Miles offside. Is that Paqueta? Miles off. Refs played it on quite rightly. It was a good save by Martinez from Jared Bowen. Remember, I have said that Jared Bowen is overrated, and some people don't understand it. But you take the goals away, which I admit is big. You take the goals away from Jared Bowen, he doesn't really do a hell of a lot more so far this season. David says, I want to go with West Ham. Don't underestimate West Ham. I think some people think of West Ham as the West Ham of last year. Do not underestimate West Ham. Linda's been to Old Trafford to pay my respects to Sir Bobby, and it was nice to see the tribute there. Thanks very much for sharing that with us, Linda. Loads of people have been up to do that today. Be interesting to see what Man United do, actually. We've got a home game on Tuesday, but obviously it's the Manchester derby next Sunday, where I think they'll do something for that as well. Here's Villa on the attack. Watkins has made his run, but it was a bad pass, to be honest. Cullen's got Watkins, Diaby and Bowen for this game. But good start to it. Not going to say it's not. It's a good start to this game. There's some buzz in there. Apprentice says, I think Villa have got this. Actually, I need to close the poll because 61% of you said Villa win. So we'll close that poll now because people cheat. Kudos on the bench for West Ham. Yeah, just looking at the benches for both sides. Fabianski, Fornells, Kudos, Mavropanos, Ings, Ogbonna, Benrahma, Keha and Mabama. For Villa, they've got Carlos, Tillemans, Traore, Chambers, Longley, Olsen, Bailey, Dendonka and Kellyman. I mean, benches are starting to get better for lots of teams now. I mean, it's interesting with Villa, isn't it? Tillemans was a free signing and he's not happy, but I don't think he was very good at Leicester last year. Sunday football's back, baby, says Lucas. And Get Stuck In says, what do you think is the most dominant colour on football shirts in the Premier League? Well, I hope you've got the answer, because I would say blue. There's got to be more, well, maybe red. I don't know. I haven't thought it through. Yeah, a lot of people are saying red now. This is a very equal game. I thought that was a foul on the Villa player there. Not sure who the referee is today. Good tackle by Pau Torres. He's trying to let it flow here. Depot says it's got to be white because every team has got white in it. Five minutes gone, 4 minutes gone, and a good energy to the game. Hopefully we'll get some goals. Hopefully we're going to get some goals. Score prediction, 3-1 Villa. Who's the referee today? I can't see his bloody face. City linked to Kroos in January. Why get rid of Gundogan, says Zinni. I think Gundogan wanted to go. I think that's the problem that Man City sometimes face. I think like Bernardo Silva actually for a long time actually wanted to go. And then nobody would pay what City wanted it, so he signed a new contract. Gundogan was out of contract, so he could go. Lovely layoff by Diaby. He wants it into feet there, and he needed it quicker. Villa on the attack. And still got it. He's been a good signing for Villa, you know. I remember he was another... I mean, Villa have been quite astute in the transfer market. When you think about... I know Tillemans hasn't worked out yet. But Kamara was a player that was linked to United, and I quite liked the look of him. Settling in season last year, but he's become an important player for them. David Coote is the referee, says Claydon Plays. Thanks for your super chat, mate. Appreciate that. Mark, what are your thoughts on the Sport Bible story claiming that Casemiro regrets joining United and United are unhappy with his performances, says Matt G? I think the answer to the question is your source of the story. With all due respect to Sport Bible, I've never took a blind bit of notice about what they say about inside stories at Man United. So I don't think we're living in a world where Sport Bible are getting United exclusives. With all due respect, so no, I don't think much of it really. Cross comes in from Villa, straight into Areola's hands. I do have Areola in my FPL, but I put him on the bench this week. I had him in the team last week, and I had Turner on the bench. Turner got a clean sheet. I have Turner in the team today. He let 2 in against Luton, and I've got Areola, so he'll probably get a fucking clean sheet and save 4 penalties. But such is life in the FPL at the moment. It's just not going the way I would like to. But, you know, you've got to hang in there. Paqueta walks into every Premier League team, says E. Davis. Well, Pep wanted him. Yeah. That's interesting. I wouldn't do it as a poll, Scott Parker, because we know what the answer would be. But he says Longstaff or Kelvin Phillips for England. Well, it has to be Longstaff, like it has to be Ward-Prowse. I mean, he's playing football in a team that's doing well in the Premier League, and Kelvin Phillips doesn't play. So it has to be. Oh, terrible pass out by Pau Torres there. Ward-Prowse. Terrible pass by him, but he wins up the second ball. And Villa bring it out from the back. Cons has been very unlucky not to get in an England squad as well. Here we go, McGinn. Really made some good ground up here, McGinn. And it's a bad, lazy pass, that. Lack of concentration pass. He's done all the work and then he just doesn't concentrate on the simple 5-metre pass. Do I think Calvin Phillips is better than Longstaff? Well, he probably is, but he doesn't play, so I wouldn't put him in this. I wouldn't put him in the team. Quite an evenly matched game so far. It's hard to gauge what West Ham are, really. I mean, they're both... West Ham have got 14. I mean, actually, funnily enough, if West Ham lose this game, Man United are ahead of West Ham, which I find incredible. But, having said that, United have beaten Burnley, Sheffield United, Wolves and Brentford, who are all, pretty low. Well, they're all bottom half of the table teams. In fact, not only that, they're all, below 12th in the league. So West Ham start to the season really has been harder than United. So West Ham's first few fixtures: Brighton, Chelsea, Bournemouth. They have played Sheffield United, Liverpool, Man City, and they have played Luton. So they've probably had a slightly harder start to the season. But I can't believe Man United yesterday. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. The next few games for West Ham after today, they've got Everton at home, they've got Brentford away, and they've got Forest at home. So winnable games, certainly winnable games for them. And they've had a reasonably good start. Aston Villa, their next few games are after this game. They've got Luton at home next week, where they'd expect to win. Forest away, where they'd fancy the chances. And then Fulham at home. So there's some good games for both these teams. Start, bench, sell, McGinn, McTominay, Soucek, says Nico. Well, I'd sell McTominay. I think he's the worst of the three. I'd bench Soucek and I'd start McGinn. Where's Kudos? He's on the bench running. Top 3 cereals: Crunchy Nut Cornflakes, Shreddies, and... Well, they're the goat cereals. Crunchy Nut Cornflakes and Shreddies. I'm trying to think of a third. Probably Ready Break. I do quite like Ready Break. I've always liked Ready Break. I tell you what, Jared Bowen's worked hard there, and he's ended up with a goal kick, not a corner. Battled his way through 2 tackles here. Could have ended up with a shot on goal, but not quite. Right, here we go. Villa down the right hand side. Diaby. He's been very good this season for Villa. It's a decent pass. He's going to shoot. Oh my God, what a save by Areola. You know what? I actually thought that was... it was Douglas Luiz with the shot. And he's hit this well. Look at the curl on that by Douglas Luiz. It's going straight up and over. Good save by the keeper as well. Fantastic shot by Douglas Luiz from the edge of the box. Gets lovely curl on it. And Areola there with a very strong hand just palms it away from the top corner. Good save. I think that Rabiot is really underrated. I love him, says Total Football. Losers should be forced to change their home kit, says Ben. Another corner. Back post. And it's in Areola's hands. My bro, Kian thinks you're funny but always angry, says Josh. Thanks, Josh. And E. Davis says Areola is one of the top 5 goalkeepers in the league. Well, I think last season for Areola was about winning the spot from Fabianski, wasn't it? There was a bit of, he wasn't established, but this season he has become the established number 1. Good goalkeeper. Good game so far. Did I watch the rugby? No, I was watching Man United, Sheffield United. Football first. Football first. Onana needs to hit him in, hit arms in the gym. I thought Onana did all right for United last night, to be fair. Psycho says, I've trapped my finger in a door and accidentally pulled it out of the nail bed. Plastic surgery hopefully tomorrow. Wish me luck. That would hurt. I do wish you luck, and I bet it hurts. And it's one of those injuries that you keep thinking back about how much it would have hurt. Good luck with that. Worst flop, Sancho, Di Maria, Lukaku, says Mario. I don't know. I don't really want to answer that one, really, because you could argue it's Sancho. I mean, maybe Di Maria, actually. A bit of a shot from Jared Bowen there. One thing I will say about Jared Bowen is he certainly puts himself in positions to have shots on goal. Mark, when are we having the Goldbridge versus Ricky debate on Bruno and Rashford? The people need it after what you said yesterday, says Robble. It's not really much of a debate, though, is it? Because they're not playing particularly well at the moment, so Ricky's right. But, when Rashford and Bruno start playing well, which is, a lot of last season, it's one of those, isn't it? You're either Rashford and Bruno are those sort of players that will always score goals and always get assists, but they'll also always have games where they don't play that well. So if you don't rate them, you'll always get your opportunity, and if you do rate them, you'll always get your opportunity. It's not really what I'm trying to say is it's not a definitive debate, is it? Look at Harry Maguire. I don't think he's good enough for Man United, but right at the moment, he's riding a wave, isn't he? He's played well in 2 games against Sheffield United and Brentford, and some people are going, oh, he's done a great job. I mean, I've heard people saying stuff like professionalism from Maguire. What professionalism from Maguire when he wasn't in the team and he's just waited for his opportunity? Well, you might be right, but he didn't go to West Ham because he didn't want to take a wage cut. So, what I'm trying to say is that if you hang around long enough, you'll become the hero. And if you hang around long enough, the hero will become the villain. It's the circle of life. McTominay, a lot of people felt he was... What a ball! Digne crosses it. Oh, not a great cross. But look at McTominay. He's another one. A lot of people would love to sell him. He scored 3 goals in 2 games. So you hang around long enough, you will... Not everybody's total shit is what I'm trying to say. Here's Diaby. Into Watkins. Oh, what a miss by Watkins. That is, well, I mean, a player, Emery's clapping the miss, but a player of his quality there, into his feet, on the penalty spot, from Diaby, gets it under control. He's literally on the penalty spot, he controls it, and then really, it's such an easy chance for a player of his quality, and he's just put it wide. Ollie Watkins there. I've got him in Goldbridge as well. I've just realised if he scores that, he gets me a bloody point. But still early days. There's still more for him. How has he missed, says Tyler. Good play by Diaby. Villa just stepping it up a bit here. Start, bench, sell, Neto, Diaby, Anthony. Yeah, Zoltan, stop chucking in underperforming Man United players so that I get to throw United players under the bus. Start, bench, sell, Neto, Diaby, Anthony. I can't. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that because you know what you're doing. That's a trap. You know the answer to that, so I'm not doing it. I don't even know why you've asked me that, Zoltan. You know what I'm going to say, and I'm not doing it because it just comes across as, I'm saying something negative about a United player again. Not doing it. There's only one answer, and you know what the answer is, so I'm not saying it. A lot of people, I think, have got... It's a trap, says Dot. I tell you what, talking about Star Wars and Admiral Akbar, what a rubbish death. I mean, Admiral Akbar in Star Wars was a legend growing up. Those new trilogies are shit and typified and exemplified by the fact that the death of Admiral Akbar was rubbish. Anyway, enough of that. So, yeah, I think Villa have had the best chance so far in the opening 20 minutes. Ollie Watkins should have scored. But McGinn's been strong here. That's a lovely ball into Diaby. And it's another good cross. I sense there might be a Villa goal coming. They seem to be on the up at the moment. I'll tell you what, they could be on the up as well when you look at the league table. They're above Newcastle anyway if they draw this game, but they could have another 2 points here if they were to win. I don't know how Man United have got 15 points, by the way. I don't know how. Well, again, don't draw. Don't draw. 5 losses, 5 wins, 4 draws. Here's Diaby. He might shoot, you know. Good block by Jared Bowen there. Emery is very underrated, says Bug. You doing okay, Mark? Says Passion. I am. Yeah. You're going to do the Newcastle Champions League game, Andy? Yes, I will. Wednesday night. So I've got a watch along every bloody day until Thursday, and I'm not doing one on Thursday. I'll leave that to Liverpool and everybody else who plays Thursday night football. But Spurs Fulham on this channel tomorrow night. We've got United Copenhagen on Tuesday night, and then Wednesday Newcastle Dortmund. Newcastle are playing so well at the moment, aren't they, as well? I mean, the destruction of Crystal Palace yesterday was great. Oh, there we go, everyone. Look at Seb's Marcus Rashford project for school tomorrow. He's 25 years old. Well, let me read it out. He is 25 years old. His birthday is on Halloween. He had a shocker last night. He likes children. No, he helps children with new money to get meals. And he played for Manchester United. No, I know what you're getting at there. He's not been playing very well, so he used to play for United. But he plays for United, Manchester United, since he was 7. That's good. Good work. Well done. I wish I had projects like that when I was a kid. We had to do it on the fucking Vikings. He's not in the room. Don't worry. He's not in the room. Well done, Seb, says Gems. I didn't realise that he's going to be 26 in a week, Marcus Rashford. I thought he was 24. So here we go. Oh, you lot need to grow up in the chat. He likes children. Of course he likes children. He's bloody gives them free meals. You lot have got really sus minds. Come on, this is a guy that's had an award from the Queen for, you know, giving them free meals, and it's a 6-year-old writing it. Come on, grow up. There's no need. You know, sometimes we need a bit of innocence and you know, niceness in the world. I get having a joke in that, but Seb's 6 and Marcus Rashford's done great stuff for kids. So have a word with yourself. Come on. Yeah, but Marcus Rashford's 26 next week. I didn't realise that. I mean, he's still relatively young, but he's got to solve that consistency problem, hasn't he? But I've got a cup of tea and a biscuit now. Cup of tea and biscuits. I wrote a song called Cup of Tea and Biscuits. Absolute shite. I thought it was going to be the next Liam Gallagher. That's a good biscuit. I shouldn't really eat it, but I'm in that Sunday mood where, you know, everything that you do in the week just goes out the window. It's Sunday. Eat rubbish. Is Maguire still Seb's favourite player, says Koala? Yeah. Yeah. So, Seb's favourite Man United player is Harry Maguire. I don't know why. It actually doesn't make any sense, considering my opinion. But, yeah, he loves Harry Maguire. Matoma is older than Rashford, says Aidan. Who's the better player, Matoma or Rashford? Who do you think Pep Guardiola would want in his team? That's actually one of my. I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight here. If I'm down the pub or I'm having a debate, it doesn't have to be down the pub, but if I'm having a debate with somebody and we don't agree, so let's for example say Rashford or Matoma, and we can do some polls. I mean, I'll do the poll. I know what the answer will be. We love the either ors. We do them on the. We've got some cracking ones on the podcast on Tuesday actually, but you know what? If I'm ever having a debate with somebody and we don't agree, you know what I say? I'll say it like Rashford, Matoma, right? Someone's going Rashford, someone's going Matoma. I will just say this. What do you think Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp would prefer? And I think, and it's always a good one because Pep Guardiola is arguably, well, Klopp and Pep, I think, are two of the best managers in the world. What do you think they would choose between Rashford and Matoma? I think Pep 100% would go with Matoma, because especially Brighton's style of football is similar to Man City. Klopp might go for Rashford. I think he'd go Matoma though. Do you watch any other leagues apart from the Prem, says Rian? I used to watch quite a bit of Serie A, but to be honest, since COVID, I don't really watch it as much. Yakin says, Mark, did you want to do this live stream? Yeah. Well, am I not performing to the level that you want? You don't have to watch it. What's your favourite biscuit, says Football Fanatics? At Christmas, I like those Christmas boxes of biscuits you get from Fox's. I love them. But during the year, generally, I like Hobnobs. We're actually heading into my one of my favourite times of the year is when mince pies come out. I love mince pies. But they're not good for you. You know, pastry, not really the best, is it? I am doing the 8 p.m. show tonight, Yazin. Yeah. Jammy Dodgers. You know, Christmas is great, but the food's, I need to start doing a bit more exercise. At 73% have gone with Matoma and Rashford. I'm going to come up with a really good either or for you here. Let me go with, okay. It's a classic. Jared Bowen or Kulusevski. Get your votes in. Only real ones will remember me doing this before. Bowen or Kulusevski. Not on current form. If you're a manager and you get offered one of those players, who are you taking? Not on form, like who you think is a better player. It's a great poll. It is a great poll. Actually, we did it about 18 months ago and it got locked on 50-50. Diaby, rubbish. I love how Kamara brings the ball out for Villa, says Jake. And why doesn't Ancelotti get mentioned alongside Pep? He does by me. Treble champ, he does by me. I'm going to write some of these down as well because some people are popping up some good either ors. And if I see any good ones, then I will use them on the podcast. Get Stuck In says Kulusevski's has a higher ceiling. Oh, been round his house, have you? Caden says, what are your thoughts on Cambridge United? Honest thoughts. I've never had a thought about Cambridge United, so I've never thought about Cambridge United. I don't think I've thought about Cambridge United in probably 30 years. I think Dion Dublin used to play for them, and everyone used to go on about him. What a shit shot that was. That's from Zaniolo. That's the sort of thing where you're completely embarrassed because he's 30 yards out. It's wide, high, wide, and not handsome. It's absolutely terrible. And when you do that in front of 40,000 people and the watching public, it's sad. It really is. Oh, talking about Christmas, if I break this, I'm going to cry, but this is probably like the highlight of the half. Let me see if I can get it out for you. I don't know whether I've shown it you before. Oh, please don't break it. And don't trip. Look at that. Home Alone house in Lego. Right, this is going to be great. Right, this opens up at the top. Oh, hello, Kevin. He's actually in there, look. So that's where he gets sent to his room. Don't drop it. And then, I think this should work. How do you do it? There we go. Oh, broke that bit. You never thought you'd get this on a watch-along, did you? That's broke off as well. Get out of the way. You nonce. You know the nonce, the guy who's... Well, he wasn't. He was accused of being a nonce, actually. And he was... Goal! We've got a goal! We've got a goal! We're doing the Home Alone house and we've got a goal here for Aston Villa. Talk about timing. What a ball out by Pau Torres. Diaby. Bad pass, really. Ollie Watkins on the left. Let's have a look what he does. Nice little pass into Zaniolo. He's having a look. He's having a look. He's having a look. He's having a look. He cuts it back. Ollie Watkins, edge of the box. Keeper can't keep hold of it. Is it Douglas Luiz? I think it is. It's lovely play. It's lovely play by Villa from the back to the front. But Areola probably should do a little bit better. Might be out unsighted a little bit. Good play by Zaniolo. Nice little layoff. Ollie Watkins assist. And then Douglas Luiz. Oh, it deflects, to be fair. Areola can't do anything about that. Told you yesterday about Douglas Luiz, says Lake on the Moon. He's done very well there. Slight deflection, says Tyler. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good goal. It's a good goal. Aston Villa at front, in front at home. Right, I'm just going to show you this because it needs to go away. I can't open it. Why won't you open? This is going to get broke. Why won't it bloody open? Oh, I'm going to break it. Why won't you open? Oh, here we go. Okay, so Genius Bridge. So there you go. You've got the train that goes round. That's got Michael J. Fox on it. No, Michael Jordan on it. And then if I move it along, you've got the kitchen, the bathroom, Buzzer's room. It's great. It's really good. Drop test. Side netting. I tell you what, if I play with this a little bit longer, I think Villa are just going to keep scoring goals. It's brilliant. I bought it a couple of years ago for Seb, and it took us all of November to build it. But I love the film, and it's a great piece of Lego. It really is. But needs to go back. It was a real pleasure to build it. That's what I would say. Real pleasure. Bowen and Kulusevski. We've got 53% going for Bowen, 47% going for Kulusevski, and I think we will keep that as a win for Bowen over Kulusevski. I would go Kulusevski on that one. So there you go. That's quite an interesting one. I'm going to keep it for the podcast. I'm not going to use all of these. I'm keeping some of them for the podcast. I like this one. I'll keep this for now. This is a really good one. Let's go with this one. Watkins Tony. Now, you can't go recency bias because Tony doesn't play. Think about Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United. Whoever you are, who would you rather have up front for you? Tony or Watkins? Get in the votes. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, by the way. That's Footballs for Everybody. You're all very, very welcome. We're getting very close to 46,000, which I spoke to you about yesterday. We're only a couple of hundred away, actually. So, bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with That's Football. You're very, very welcome. We've got Tottenham Spurs tomorrow as well. And Champions League's back this week. I haven't looked at next weekend's games yet. I know it's the Manchester Derby. That'll be on United Stand. But I've not looked at next weekend's fixtures. In Premier League. Let me just have a quick look. Chelsea-Brentford, 12:30. Crystal Palace against Spurs Friday night, 8 o'clock. Arsenal-Sheffield United, nice win for Arsenal. Wolves-Newcastle. Sunday, Man United against Man City. Liverpool-Forest. West Ham-Everton. Yeah, it's all about the Manchester Derby next week, isn't it? Let's be honest. Tottenham Spurs, Tottenham Crystal Palace. DAZN going for Premier League rights in the UK, so there will be 4 subs to watch. Only 2/3 of the football. Sky, Amazon, TNT, and now DAZN. Fuming, no wonder. Most of us have other means. It's disgusting, says Treble Champ. And Newcastle versus Dortmund prediction, says Jordan. I think Newcastle will win. Having seen what they've done against PSG, I think they'll win. Look at that league table, though, Villa fans. That's how it's looking for you at the moment. Lovely position to be in, considering your next 2 games, which I've told you. Luton at home next week for Villa, and then I think they've got Forest away. So, real opportunity for Villa to put their foot down and get themselves in a position. West Ham are drifting in this game. They started off pretty 50-50 the first 10 minutes, but I'd say for the last 25 minutes, Villa have just took control of the game, the momentum. Hi Mark, Eddie Howe has got us so much out of the players that were there before he was. Is there any players you think Ten Hag has done the same with, says Reese. Get Stuck In says, whoever's saying Tony wipes downwards. Yeah, that's a bit weird to wipe down, isn't it? I've never thought of that. It's like when you're in the shower. I've said this before. When you're in the shower, if anyone's got any of these good ones, we'll read these out as well. But things that you think everyone else does but don't do. McGinn shoots wide. Like in the shower, apparently it's 50-50 on whether you face the wall or you're back to the wall. I will always be backs to the wall in a shower. It's just something I got taught by my granddad. But some people actually face the wall in the shower, face the shower thing, like Reg. That if you wipe down, that's not good. You've got to get it right first time if you're wiping down. Austin McPhee, Aston Villa set piece coach. Looks like he used to be an ABBA. He didn't. I'll do that one next, Denise. We've got some good either-ors coming in here today. I'm loving the show today. How do you not face the wall, says you? I tell you what, I don't want you to imagine me in the shower, but if you do, please put me in a pair of swimming trunks. I don't want you imagining me naked. But when I'm in a shower, if the shower head is behind me and the wall is behind me, I'm looking away from the wall. Why would I face the wall? What if someone comes in? I mean, it might be quite nice in certain people. You're very welcome. The wife, that's it. But I don't like that. Never turn your back on anything. Dogs, a free meal, a shower. You bathe in swimming trunks, says Benny. Only in your bloody fantasies. I'm not being naked. Do you lock the shower? Do I lock the door? No. What if I slip and bang my head and then people can't get in quick enough to save me? Don't lock the shower door. Why would you lock the shower door in your own fucking house? Got nothing to hide. I've got an ensuite as well, so it's not used by anybody else apart from me and the wife. Shower bridge. Anyway, there's a lot of questions coming out here. Do you sleep with the door open or closed? Says Fever. This is getting a bit sinister now. Good shot. Soucek blocked. Someone might break in. If someone breaks into your house and walks up your stairs and breaks into you having a shower, they're not a very good burglar. I mean, actually, if you're in the shower, you've got a free hit downstairs, haven't you? In all my life, I've never really heard of burglars who break into a house. Oh, I'll leave the flat screen TV. There's someone having a shower upstairs. I must go and have a look. That's a different type of criminal. Tell you what, he's given a free kick there. That's incredible, ref. I mean, how is that? How's he giving a free kick for that? Is this good refereeing or is he a fucking idiot? I mean, Konza has jumped out to block the shot. We'll see now. That's not a handball. That's not a handball. He's literally natural body there. You can't jump with your hands by your fucking side. Come on. That's silly refereeing. So you're telling me if that was in the area, he's going to give a penalty? Bit stupid that, but it's a good free kick opportunity here for West Ham. In relation to Ivan Toney and they're trying to see if it was a penalty. Imagine if they gave a penalty for that. I'll tell you what, that would be a massive injustice if they gave a penalty for that. That would be one of the most controversial penalties of the season. I think it's outside the box anyway. Imagine if that had been given as a penalty. I don't even think it's a handball. 59% of you went with Toney over Watkins. We're getting some good either-ors in today. Keep them coming in. There's one I've stacked up that I'll throw in for you now. But Ward-Prowse on a free kick. It's time to get serious. As Celine Dion once sang, this is getting serious. This is serious. Is it thing about you or us? I won't go any further. But it's Ward-Prowse on a free kick. And your next either or is Raya or Ramsdale. Good to see you, Mark. Not far off 4 years, says Man United Hodge. Mate, you're a legend, pal. Thank you very much. You can't do De Bruyne or Bruno. Even I know the answer to that. This is a very, very good position for James Ward-Prowse. He is an architect of free kicks. He is a magician at free kicks. He is very good at free kicks. This is going round the wall into the top corner. He's a free kick specialist. Watch and learn. Oh, wall did its job. I'd like to see that from behind, because I think that would have been going in. Let's have a look. Here we go. No, he's not got that right at all. It's not a good free kick. It's coming in to the centre of the goal. Good game, though. I mean, I'm enjoying this game. I mean, there's not been any other football today, so it might be a little bit of a deprive, but I'm enjoying it. I quite like it to stay 1-0, really. Makes it more interesting. What a ball by Matty Cash to Diaby on the right-hand side. He's got options. He cuts it back into Watkins. He lays it back off. McGinn, good defensive work by Soucek. We've had another super chat here. Question mark, would you watch United if they played at 3, 4 or 5 a.m. every weekend? Just something we deal with in Australia. Would love to hear your thoughts, says Samuel. Honest answer is yes. And I respect everybody who does it for any club. There'll be people who watch That's Football who support different clubs and get up at all sorts of hours to watch them. I would. I mean, I get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch United play Wrexham in a pre-season game where it's the kids playing. So I would get up, yeah. But whether I'd stay awake, that's another thing. It's difficult, isn't it? Getting some great either ors in. West Ham are starting to come back into this. Salah or Bale, says Ewan. Excuse me. I should have warned you there. West Ham just starting to come into it here with a couple of minutes left of this half. Do you eat the burger or the chips first? I love these sort of questions, British guy. Do you eat the burger or the chips first? I love these sort of things. We were talking about which way you stand in the shower. I definitely eat the chips before the burger. Yeah. Some people do a bit of both. I don't know why I didn't need to do the... We all know. We all know. Lovely little ball over the top to Kufal on the right-hand side. He's skipped past Zaniola. And he probably should have cut that back to the edge of the box. He's gone front post and Martinez grabs hold of it. But if you watch this back, Kufal, he's a decent FPL player, Kufal. He does get a few assists. And there's a cut back here to Jared Bowen that he completely doesn't see. Or is it? No, it's not Jared Bowen. It's Ward Prowse. Just doesn't see it. Doesn't see it. Ramsdale's getting more than Raya at the moment. I just think there's I call it the Harry Maguire effect. We see it at United all the time. The propaganda, by the way. Do you want to know the propaganda of that stat that Sky put out yesterday? Because if you didn't see the United standing, you're not a United fan. You might be quite interested in how the British media tries to manipulate the average fan in this country who doesn't think for themselves. Lovely ball into Diaby here. Could we have a 2v2? We do have a 2v2. Where's he going to go? He's going to go. Oh, it's a terrible ball. It's a terrible ball. And good tackle. Raya Ramsdale, 54% against... I feel that there's a bit of a media witch hunt. Every time I turn the radio on, every time I put the TV on, all I hear is, don't know why Ramsdale's not playing. Raya, look at this mistake by Raya. They did it to De Gea last year. They basically just make their mind up about what they want, and it's normally British, and then they'll slaughter Raya now. They did it to De Gea last year. Raya's going to get slaughtered week in, week out by the press until they get what they want, which is Ramsdale in goal. I like Ramsdale. He's better than Pickford, but I actually think Raya's the right goalkeeper for Arsenal. He's more confident. Yes, he makes mistakes, but he's got a real confidence about him. And I think Arsenal don't really have a lot to complain about at the moment. You're in a title race. You're doing well. Do you need to change your goalkeeper? I don't think you do. But I can see what's happening. I've seen it before. It's interesting actually. Like last night, Man United played Sheffield United, and they kept flashing up this stat. Now Harry Maguire played well last night, but they kept flashing up this stat about when Maguire starts for Man United, they've won 94% of their games. And loads of United fans were like, what are you talking about? We got 17 clean sheets last year and he never played really. So how can we be winning more games with Maguire than we did without when we were getting all them clean sheets? But what Sky failed to do is tell you the games that they were talking about. And basically half of them were cup games against people like Charlton and Reading. The other half were, 12 out of the 15 games they were talking about were at home. And most of the Premier League games were against teams in a relegation battle. So, and they started it from October the 22nd because they didn't want to include 3 losses before that. So it was heavily manipulated stats that most United fans saw through it. And I think you're starting to see that with Ramsdale as well. I don't think it does Maguire or Ramsdale any favours. I think they're both decent players that people can see with their own eyes. But yeah, we get manipulated in this country with weird producers who just come up with these stupid ideas to try and literally push an agenda which is inaccurate. Mark, could you explain what Marmite is and how to eat it? As an American, I have no idea, but I hear good and bad things about it, says Robble. That literally is the definition of Marmite. You either like it or you hate it. It's a salty, black, treacle-like texture. Doesn't taste like treacle. It's very savoury. It's very salty. And it's like yeasty as well. I don't massively love it, but on the other hand, I don't mind it. Yeah. Do you like Marmite? We could almost run a poll on that. But I'm going to close the poll on Raya Ramsdale. It's 47% for Raya and it's 53% for Ramsdale. So well done, everybody, on that. We're at half time here as well, and it remains 1-0 to the Villa in what has been, I believe and will say, a decent game. I think it's been a decent game so far. Villa leading, as I say. End that poll. I have got another poll for you. I forgot what it was. I did forget what it was. Sorry. I wrote it down somewhere. I can't find it now. I know. I want to do this one. Here's one for you. It's a classic. It is a classic, but I just want to gauge the room here on, not even going to say anything. Pep or Klopp? Who's the better coach? Forget the bank balance, because one's got money and one hasn't. But who do you think? Ben says, Maguire isn't the victim the media makes him out to be, and he's not as bad as United fans claim him to be. Give him to Dyche, he'll look after him, says Ben. You're half right there, Ben. The media make him out to be like the most abused player in modern times. It's not true. They make it out that Man United fans don't like him. It's not true. He played well last night. I would start him for the next few games. He deserves that. It's manipulated into something it's not. Man United fans don't dislike Harry Maguire. He's never been booed by Man United fans, certainly not in this country. So he's not disliked. All it is I think a lot of people think he's had his chance, he's not really going to be good enough, he's not part of the future, and when everybody's fit, he doesn't start. And that's basically the story. But what the media want to portray is that, he's been abused out of the team, he's England's best centre-back. I honestly think at the moment, England's best centre-backs are Stones, Guehi, Colwill, and then arguably Maguire or Dunk or Konza. And I feel like I'm missing somebody else out as well. But I think Colwill, Guehi and Stones are England's best centre-backs. Because they're the most modern centre-backs that we've got. They can play out from the back. They're very mobile. They are the best centre-backs in England. And two of them should get better. Did the Beckham documentary change your opinion of Sir Alex Ferguson at all? He's the GOAT, but I felt his desire for power and control over his players disconcerting, says Josh. No, I mean, look, I never... There was nothing in that documentary about Sir Alex Ferguson that surprised me, actually. I know some people have said, he comes across as a disciplinarian. Two things. It was 30 years ago. More than 30 years ago when this happened. 20 years ago. And that's how you lead. That's how you lead. If you've got a player in your team that you think's really important, and then in his spare time he's doing a load of brand work and he's hanging around with a pop star, would you rather he was just a player that went home and stayed out of doing that sort of stuff? And remember, Sir Alex Ferguson was an old school manager who probably never experienced that sort of stuff. I don't think Sir Alex Ferguson came across as bad. I think David Beckham came across as really well, and so did Victoria. But I think Sir Alex Ferguson ultimately was only interested in Manchester United, and he wanted his players to train hard, play hard, and then rest hard, and that's all he wanted. So no, I don't think Sir Alex came across bad at all. Interesting poll going on. Pep versus Klopp. 54% for Pep, 46% for Klopp. We're having a cracking show today. This is what That's Football is all about. Verbal says, what about Tomori? I like Tomori. I really, really like Tomori, but I do feel that he's just underrated, and it's almost a pointless exercise to discuss Tomori because he just doesn't get the attention he deserves. And you either know he's a good player or you don't, but he needs to come back to the Premier League. Like he needs to come and play in the Premier League. Yeah, that's sort of where I am. Phoebe's just made a good point about Spurs. We forget about this player, and he was such an important player for Spurs before his injury. Bentancur. He's going to be back for Spurs soon. And, I mean, that'll be... I know we say it's a lot about injured players, but he's going to be like a new signing for Spurs. When you look at that midfield that they've got, Basuma's been a revelation. They've still got Højbjerg, Sarr, Bentancur comes back in. That's a really great point by Phoebe. That's a really... I mean, I'm looking forward to watching Spurs tomorrow night. We're doing a watch-along tomorrow night for Spurs. I'm looking forward to it because I've not really watched Spurs play this season where they're the favourites to win. I've watched them play against Liverpool and Arsenal and United, but it's going to be interesting to see Spurs tomorrow because they've got a really good run of games as well. Ben White could also play centre-back for England, says Huggy. Yeah, well, you know. Admiral Akbar deserved better, Mark. Lucasfilm need to get the owners out. No new signings since 2019, and the TV shows don't count, says Kian. I don't think Disney's been good for Star Wars at all, really, in the long run. Les Dennis or Des Lennis, says Phil. Silly boy. Klinsmann or Sheringham. We're doing Pep versus Klopp at the moment. Can I just ask a favour of everybody? Please do subscribe to the channel. We're getting so close to 46,000. We're only 100 away. So bottom right-hand corner, click that subscribe button. Get involved with That's Football. We have content for you every day anyway. But also we've got a lot of watch-alongs coming up. So join the community, get involved. You can subscribe. That's fantastic. Appreciate that. Look, I'm quite pleased with this poll, you know. Keep your questions coming in. Just in relation to the game, I'd be remiss of me not to show you this because it is a game that's been, I think, very intriguing so far. But look at that. Villa, 62% possession, 10 shots to 6, 4 shots to 1 on target. Much better pass completion rate of 89%. Way more passes, way more tackles. You know, actually, that game's probably not as close as some people might have thought it was. I think for the first 10 minutes it was close, but since then, the last half an hour of the game, Villa have just been in the ascendancy, and you know, fair play to them. They have been the better side by a long way in that for the majority of the half. How do West Ham get back into it? Stop Villa scoring the second goal and hope you get an opportunity yourself, really. I think Villa have been very, very good, and they've been very, very good this season. No two ways about it, Jeff. But I think when you look at the league table at the moment, I'm very surprised that Man United are only 6 points off the top. Really surprised. But then again, you look at United, they're the only team in the top half not to draw. And I think that's bumped United up a bit because we could have drawn against Wolves. That would take 2 points off. We could have drawn against Burnley. That would take 2 points off. So United have scrapped a few wins where they could have drawn and everybody else has drawn a game. And that has a massive impact. Massive impact. And that's why United, I think, are a bit closer. A few people have said to me this morning, how are United where they are? Like, how are they within touching distance of, you know, Newcastle and Brighton? You know, we're only a point behind Brighton and Newcastle. They've had relatively good seasons, but our goal difference isn't great. The United played, but having said that, United have played Sheffield United, Wolves, Forest, Burnley, Brentford, Crystal Palace. So we have played a lot of teams in the bottom half of the table. We haven't played City yet, we haven't played Spurs yet, we haven't played Villa yet, we haven't played Newcastle yet, and we haven't played West Ham yet, and we haven't played Chelsea yet, and we haven't played Liverpool yet. So this is where United came unstuck last season. The United players need to understand they are simply caretakers of the jersey and own nothing. The legacy of the badge outlasts anyone, says Enter Miami Fan TV. Lovely comment there. What are your thoughts on West Ham's tactics first half, Mark? Would you keep with Paqueta and Emerson partnership on the left, trying to exploit Villa's high line with balls, says Trick? And Sully, welcome to the members club. I just think for West Ham, they are where they are and they will be where they are. They're ninth, and I think that's sort of where they're going to be. It's going to be really difficult for teams like West Ham to infiltrate the top 8 because I said this from day one. I didn't think Spurs were going to get top 8 for the same reason. We have played Spurs. We played Spurs Arsenal and Brighton from the top half of the table, haven't we, Man United? We've played 3 of the top 9 so far. But I didn't think Spurs were going to get top 8 in the summer, and they've been fantastic. Is Spurs better without Kane, says Jonah? I want to talk about that. It's a good question. But the reason I don't think West Ham will get into the top 8 is because you've got Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal. Then you've got Man United, Chelsea, Spurs and Newcastle. Then you've got Brighton, Aston Villa. So I think there's 9 clubs that have a very big advantage over someone like West Ham. So West Ham, if they can get back into this game, I think they're a much better team than they were last year, but I think it's very difficult this year to get into the top 8. Mark, Spurs beaters, Cardiff still in the pipeline, says Matthew Baker. Yeah, hope so. And Mark, I need your help to make EAFC 24 playable. I need suggestions and help, says Gary. Right, if you want a little bit of help on EAFC, I play it every Monday, Wednesday and Friday on my channel at 3:45. You can tune in tomorrow, but very, very quickly for you. And then I need to answer the Harry Quane question. EAFC, you've got to do your custom tactics and you've got to set individual instructions on your players. Also, I would go on advanced defending and learn to use the X button to shoulder barge and stuff like that. And you've got to master defending before you do anything else. So they're my 3 tips. Welcome to the Members Club. Twisted. Are Spurs a better team without Harry Kane? No. No. This is a myth. Absolute myth. Spurs would be better with Harry Kane because Harry Kane is a world-class striker. What's happened to Spurs is Spurs are better this season because they've got a better coach and they're playing better football. With Harry Kane in that team, they'd still be where they are. They'd still be having a great season. They're not better because Harry Kane's left. They're better because they've got a coach that's playing a better brand of football that suits the team. I think with Harry Kane in the team, they'd be even better. And I think if you asked Ange, he would agree. But I think some people go, well, Spurs were shit last year and now they're really good. It must be something to do with Harry Kane. It's not. As Baby says, Kane under Ange would be insane. Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. I'm really impressed with Emerson. He's put a shift in since Cresswell got injured. I reckon he will keep him in team. Him and Paqueta have got a good link-up, says Trick Liners. Look, I think West Ham, if they can get something out of this game, it's a fantastic result. Villa have been really impressive this season, and it's not. West Ham have played Liverpool, Man City, and now Villa, and I think these are the sort of games where you give it what you can, but they're not the games that Villa have done it themselves. Villa lost to Newcastle, they lost to Liverpool, and yet they're right up there. I think in the Premier League this year, unless you're Man City, like Arsenal nearly did it last night against Chelsea, unless you're Man City, you're going to lose games this year. And I think you've just got to have that mentality. This league is ridiculously competitive. We've lost that game. We dust ourselves down. And next week we go and win. And Villa have done that very, very well. So, look, I don't think West Ham, if they can get something out of this game, fantastic. But at the moment, it's looking a bit tough. Spurs in a title race with Harry Kane, says Connor. Well, at the moment, Spurs are in a title race anyway. I mean, I know people probably don't want to acknowledge Spurs are in a title race, but win tomorrow, 3 points clear. They've then got to play Crystal Palace away, Chelsea at home, and then they play Wolves away. So, I mean, they're the sort of games that if you can go and win them games. Was Chelsea draw with Arsenal the shock of the weekend, says Harry? I want to talk about this Klopp-Pep thing because I'm quite pleased with the score on that. 56% have gone with Pep. 44% have gone with Klopp. I would go with Klopp. I'll tell you why in a moment. Players coming out for the second half. Arsenal yesterday, it was such a weird day yesterday because I did the Merseyside derby. Then we heard about Sir Bobby's passing. Then I did the Chelsea-Arsenal game. And then I did the Man United game. So I never really got a chance to take breath and really think about it. I was just stuck in the moment, obviously. And the Chelsea should have won that game. It's the 77th minute. And they're winning 2-0 at home. They should win that game. And it will feel like a loss. But Chelsea are definitely improving. And I think they need to take that as a positive. But where they are in the league is not a positive. Like, they're a long way off fourth place. They're 8 points off fourth. So they're a long way off where they need to be, Chelsea, and they've got some really tough games coming up. But from Arsenal's point of view, that will make them feel $1 million. The fact that they were, 2-0 down against a rival. And at that point, I felt Chelsea were going to get the third. And then the keeper makes a mistake, Declan Rice scores, and then it's a brilliant goal a brilliant pass by Saka and a brilliant goal by Trossard. And suddenly Arsenal rescue a draw from defeat. So it's really interesting at the top. But the ominous thing for me is that Arsenal beat Man City, and then the next game week, they're on the same points again. And that's advantage gone, isn't it? But it's a really competitive league. So let's close this poll. Either or, Pep or Klopp. 56% have gone with Pep. 44% have gone with Klopp. I think that's probably about right. I would go with Klopp though, because I think when Klopp's on a level playing field with Pep, he can beat him. I just don't think he can get on a level playing field that often because of the financials that Pep has. How would Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City play without their starting back four, says Spy? I don't know. A lot of goals. Douglas Luiz is one of the most underrated midfielders in the Premier League. Villa would be lost without him. If he played for City, he'd be as good as Rodri, says the HPN. Well, there's a couple of... Arsenal have tried to buy him a couple of times, haven't they? Thank you for the warm welcome, Mark, says Sully. Hope you're all doing well. I am. Hope you're doing well as well. There's Emery striding back to his seat. I'm just going to have a stretch here because my back is bloody killing me. I was lifting a few slabs today. Just getting up some weeds, and probably didn't lift the slabs correctly because my back's bloody killing. Hot bath before the 8 o'clock show. That'll do. That'll do me. That'll do me, lads. I'll tell you what, though. This is really interesting. International break is coming up in 3 weeks. I don't want to scare you. Will Spurs in 3 weeks not be in a title race? Absolutely not. So going into December, Spurs will be in the top four, in my opinion. You've got to be in a title race when you're in a race in December. So yes, Spurs are in a title race for me. Harry says, can I give you £500 through Super Chat? Well, you can, Harry, but I wouldn't advise it. Great job as always, Mark, says Tom. Hassie says, VAR or no VAR? VAR used correctly, I don't have a problem with it. If I see 3 bad tackles in 3 different games and they all get a red card, that's what I want to see, consistency. But look, one of the big talking points of the weekend was 0-0 Liverpool-Everton. Should have been a second yellow card for Canate. Liverpool's victory against... sorry, what was that? Mark, I was wondering where you rank Liverpool's victory against Barcelona a few years ago to get the Champions League final, says Sully. I don't remember it, mate. I actually don't remember. I thought you were talking about winning the Champions League. That was against Spurs. I don't remember Liverpool beating Barcelona. And why would I? I'm not a Liverpool fan. What's your thoughts on party pies and Dino snacks for a meal, says Man United Hodge. I don't know who they are. It's a lovely ball into Diaby. You know what Diaby is? He's only the player they thought Leon Bailey was going to be. He's so good. He offers them so much. And look, as a wide player, there's always that inconsistency. But I think he's been remarkable since he's signed for Liverpool. I really do. Sorry, I don't want to talk about Liverpool. I think he's been remarkable since he signed for Diaby, for Villa. And that's a good cross as well. That's a good cross into Watkins. Oh, corner taken quickly. Trent, yeah, I know what you're on about. I wouldn't have been watching that. I'd have turned it off. Unless I was doing a watch-along, which I don't think I did. I think I did do a watch-along in that game, actually, Yeah, I've just knocked it from the memory. Bourbon biscuit or custard cream? I'd go bourbon, yeah. Ooh! It's given a penalty. It's a penalty to Villa. And it's Alvarez. We were talking about him before the game. Decision made. They've gone penalty. And let's have a look at this, everybody. Let's have a look at this. It's gone into... Cons has won it. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. I think it is. I think it is a penalty. It's very soft. It's very clumsy. I don't think he's done anything wrong, Alvarez. I think he's got to try and go for that. But let's do a poll. Penalty or not. That's a massive... It's a bit like the Chelsea game yesterday, isn't it? You know, 1-0 up at half-time. Right at the start of the second half, you get a chance to make it 2-0. I don't think there'll be a way back for West Ham from this if they go 2-0 down. Ad says definitely a penalty. I think it is a penalty. I think it's just one of those things where sometimes you've got to make a... You've got to make a tackle, and Cons has knocked it past him. Anywhere on the pitch, it's going to be a foul, so it's a penalty. Douglas Luiz to get his second goal of the game here. Does take set pieces. And he takes penalties well as well. He's on a hat-trick. It's 2-0 to Aston Villa. And it's hard to see a way back for West Ham now. The Villa machine keeps rolling on. They're very consistent, aren't they? Very consistent there. JR says that's legit a penalty. Mr. Yellow, you're thinking the same as me. Give it to Watkins, but he hasn't. Boston says it's too soft. Too soft or not, it's still a penalty, isn't it? I think he goes straight down the middle. I think Areola goes too early. Yeah, he's gone straight down the middle there. Yeah, he's gone very early, Areola. It's funny. I was doing a penalty. Video with Ben Foster last week. And I think I asked him on the video, so you'll see it when the video comes out. But I was saying to him, some of these people are so good at penalties. Surely you have to guess and go before they kick it. And I can't remember what he said. I think he said, no, you wait. But I was like, if you wait, then some of these penalties, you're not going to get anywhere near them. Surely you do have to guess. I don't know whether he was not telling me his secrets, but he's retired. Douglas Luiz takes a lot of set pieces for Villa. Are you doing the fill-in this week, Mark? Yes, I am. Back tomorrow. Are you nervous about City next week? No. So, man, it's a derby, mate. You know, I think a lot of people are saying that United are going to get battered. We beat Man City so many times. I mean, Man United, I think we can all admit United have been pretty shit for the last 10 years. Yet I can think of many, many times in the last 10 years we've beat Man City. So, you know, form goes out the window. It's a Manchester derby. It's at Old Trafford. I think that there's loads of opportunities where Man United could win that game. We beat them last year. And no one gave us a chance. We beat them with Ollie. We beat them with Jose. I think we beat them with Van Gaal as well. So, I do, you know, Man City will be the favourites, but S-Pat says you lost 6-3 to them. Yeah, but you're not going to the last game at Old Trafford where we beat them. So, look, Man City will be the favourites, but there's no reason to write the game off and go, oh, let's wait for Luton the next week or Fulham. I want United to win anyway, but I'd love United to win because of the fucking title race. You know? How are you doing on your fantasy Premier League? I'm just going to have a quick look here. I don't think I've had a good week. I've got 59 points and the average is 45. So I'm doing all right. I've only got Son to come. I'm not doing great in general though. I've not had a good week in bloody ages. Joel says that's quite good. Villa are well in control here. 54 minutes. Izana says got 69. Don't know whether that's a points or a Saturday night treat. Not sure. There's always people who've got fucking 88 or something, isn't there? But corner right in on Areola there. Ash says it's my 29th birthday today, so happy birthday to Ash. The first video I watched of yours was Jose Mourinho's Potential 11 video. Back then, he first joined all those years ago. Thank you for all the amazing content over the years and to the future. Well, happy birthday, mate. One more till you're 30. Enjoy it and enjoy your day today. And thanks for all your support. I tell you what, it's going to be a shame for Villa and Newcastle because Tonali's been a good signing for them, and I think Zaniola's been a good signing for Villa, but they're both going to get goal. Oh, this is put a cat amongst the pigeons. It's Bowen again. Bullseye. It's only a game, but you better believe I'm right. That's the wrong song. It's time for a bit of bully. Time for a bit of bully. Jared Bowen deflects off Torres right into the bottom corner. No one's saving that. It's never going anywhere near the goal. It's took a lovely slice of luck for West Ham fans, but it's given us a decent game here now. 56 minutes. This is what I mean about the Premier League. We saw it last night, didn't we? A mistake and Declan Rice scores, and we've seen it here. 2-0 down. West Ham, a goal back from a deflection. And that's how quick things can change. Massive says Bowen's on fire. Well, what do they say? If you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the lottery. You got a lot of luck there, but if he doesn't take the shot, he doesn't get the luck. And Villa, I still think Villa will win this game, but it's a bit of a warning shot. Can't be a bit of bully. 70% of you said it was a penalty, by the way. We'll close that poll off. N says, why did Villa get a penalty? Because there was a foul in the box. But it's only one more goal for West Ham and they're back in this. Well, let's not write it off yet. Let's not write it off yet. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're trying to hit 46,000 tonight. We're only 100 away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe if you haven't already. It's free to do. Get involved with That's Football community. Everybody is welcome on here. And don't forget, we are doing Spurs versus Fulham tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Will Dougie get a hat-trick, says Bainbridge. If United beat City, they go 3 points behind them. It's crazy, says Total Football. We're in London, aren't we? We're not in London, actually, Cliffy, but we love that. That's a lovely ball. Oh, what a ball that is. Oh, just over the top there. You feel Villa are going to need the third goal here. I think we're going to see more goals, and that's really good defensive play there. And a foul by Diaby, who just got a little bit frustrated. Self says, what about Odegaard's fall off? Well, I've seen a lot written about Odegaard over recent weeks. And even as a United fan, I find it quite frustrating because when you commit to saying, I like that player, even though they play for somebody else, that's a big statement. You don't want to have to change it because it's not good when you respect a player at another club. So look, Mo Salah's a fantastic player. Unfortunately, he plays for Liverpool, but he's a fantastic player. I think Odegaard is a fantastic player. So I ask myself, why is he struggling this season? And personally, I think he's struggling this season because of Havertz. Because Arteta has spent a lot of money on Havertz and has tried to find a way for him into the team. And the way to do that is to play Rice, Havertz and Odegaard, which they did a lot at the start of the season. And that means that Odegaard has to share the attacking responsibility in the midfield, but also do more defensive work. And I think that's had a problem for Odegaard this year. I guarantee you, if Odegaard started the season with Rice and Partey and was just allowed to be the number 10, you'd get a better Odegaard. But I think he's had a bit of disruption this year and he's having to play in a different way. And I think that the Havertz signing is a little bit like the Mason Mount signing, which I'm going to be talking about on the United Stand tonight. It's somewhat confusing to spend that amount of money on a player that then you've got to play, but there isn't necessarily a place for him in the team. Jamie Carragher is angry because people go down too easily, says MCFC. Well, in certain situations, it's actually quite a positive. Jamie, stop moaning. I bet you wouldn't be moaning in them situations if it was the right person. Masson says he didn't play with Kai yesterday. Who's your man of the match so far, Mark, says Riley. I think you've got to give it to Douglas Luiz, not just for the goals. I think he's played really, really well. Villa on the break again. That's a poor ball. Areola's there. Villa just need a bit of composure here. The game's going a little bit open and obviously West Ham are going to push for that second goal. Come on, you Irons, says Wayne. Jay says, do you think anybody hits 90 points this season? Look, mate, I know they lost to Wolves and Arsenal, but I've never changed my opinion. Man City will win this title. I don't think anybody will stop City winning the title. I really don't. You know, you've got to build a gap on City before Christmas, because as soon as Christmas comes, and maybe even before Christmas this year, they will get in a rhythm and they'll just walk away with it. Carlos is on the bench, Manchu, for Villa. They've actually got quite a lot of defensive options now. Obviously, they're playing Konza and Torres, but they've got Longley, they've got Carlos. Obviously, Tyrone Mings will come back at some point. Here comes Kudos. Can't believe he turned Brighton down, by the way, to go to West Ham. Nothing against West Ham, but must be a London thing. I'm in London, aren't I? I don't want to go and live in Brighton. Mickey Ass says that Kudos masterclass incoming. Romero or Saliba, I'll do that for you now, mate. Ooh, headed away by Matty Cash. It was a shot there. They're having a go. They're having a go. What have we got? What was it? There you go. I had another lovely super chat from Trick Liners. He says, I remember when Scott chipped from way out the box and Martial goal off Bruno free kick against City with a 2-0 win. Yeah, look, anything can happen in a derby. I mean, look, yesterday I would have said Liverpool, comfortable win. Oh, they're looking at a penalty here. What for? What are they looking for a penalty for here? Yeah, it doesn't hit his hand. What are you talking about? Right, you've checked it 4 times and it doesn't hit his hand. What are they looking for there? Yeah, look, yesterday I would have thought Liverpool would have won that game quite comfortably, but it was a derby, and I think if Konate got sent off at 0-0, maybe that game ends up in a draw. So, look, it's always the same with a derby. Sometimes there are thrashings, but a lot of the time you can get the unexpected. Jarsk, thank you for joining the members club. Also, I don't understand why offside is triggered by any part of the body. It should just be the lead foot of the attacker and the last foot of the defender, says Ben. Thank you very much. Well, I think it's any part of the body that you can legally score a goal with, isn't it? So, your arse, your head, your chest. I don't really understand why your arm, any part of your arm, is considered offside. But, you know, there's probably people in the chat who can explain that one to us. Are pigs in blanket harder to freeze, says John. Lovely. I tell you what, I do love pigs in blankets. 79% have gone for Saliba over Romero. Can't say I disagree, and I was a bit surprised that the poll even went up. Soucek comes off. Kudes comes on. Aston Villa lead 2-1 with about 25 minutes to go here. Be a very big win for Aston Villa this, but you get the feeling it might be a little bit like Stamford Bridge yesterday, where we could end up with a draw, which would be great for Man United. We've seen a few draws this weekend that have helped us out. Chelsea and Arsenal was a good one. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. Do you really wanna live forever, 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 forever young? I don't even know who sings that. On the attack again, West Ham here. Tell you what, I'll be honest what I was doing there. Somebody mentioned this to me about 6 months ago. They've said, do you realise how many watch-alongs there are for every game on YouTube now? I said, no, I don't really, no, not really. And I was just having a look there. Just typed in Aston Villa, West Ham. Fucking loads. It's amazing, isn't it? We've probably jumped the shark with it a little bit now. I remember like when we were probably about one of the only ones doing it. Then COVID hit. COVID was what got everyone doing watch-alongs because they couldn't go to the games. And then this is probably a really boring topic. Let's go back to the game. Nice ball in. Left-hand side. Kudos. Up against Matty Cash. West Ham looking for that chance. Kufel. They'll clear it. Lockdown FIFA was amazing, Himanshu. It helped me mentally get through it as well. Although, I feel that my EAFC career mode is going to kick off this week. I feel like I've finally got to grips with the game. I was gutted with that Man City result on Friday, but I feel like I'm starting to get going. A season and a half in. I almost wish I was starting again, actually, but it is what it is. Oh my God. Well done, Martinez, actually. The press from West Ham was very... Oh, it's a terrible pass. See what I mean about passing out from the back? I think we've... I'll tell you what, I think that's something where we have jumped the shark a little bit. Passing out from the back. Teams are I've said this a few times, so I'm hoping that it gets picked up by people, but I feel that everybody passes out from the back now, which is fine, but everybody's really good at pressing now. So we're seeing a hell of a lot of goals conceded from passing out from the back because teams are so good at pressing. Good cross by Diaby there. No one on the end of it, though. What did I have for dinner, Blake? I've already told everyone. Roast pork, crackling, red cabbage, carrots, runner beans, potato, stuffing. Lovely. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. It was great. Any thoughts about doing a That's Football live show, says Drew. Well, we've got a Christmas show in Manchester for United stand. But what a cross again. I'll tell you what, that cross by Antonio is fantastic. Matty Cash puts it out for a corner. Lovely cross. Kimmich or Rice is majestic hero. Kimmich, come on, don't be stupid. I think we'll see an evolution of football again. I think passing out from the back, we've probably had it for... How many years do you think we've had the passing out from the back revolution? I'm trying to think when it started. You could argue that it started with Barcelona's Pep, really. It's been around for a long time, and I think that there will be a new evolution of football soon. There'll be a style of football that's different to what we're used to at the moment. My big thing is this. I actually think everybody is really focused on passing, possession, playing between the lines. We don't see a lot of individuality anymore. But I personally think that, the game is crying out for more midfielders who can carry the ball. And the reason I say that is teams are so strategically set up now in a system to press as a team and defend as a team. But if a player goes down injured, that whole structure falls apart. So instead of waiting for an injury or something like that, what about you take on the player in front of you? And if you get past them, someone's got to come to you and the whole system falls down. So I think that is maybe next. Oh, a player's just gone down in the box here. What's going on? Trying to say Alvarez has done something to McGinn. Will you do Real versus Barca Watchalong next week? Says too old for this shit. I doubt it. I don't think Alvarez did anything. I think it was Watkins who hit McGinn, and McGinn's probably gone down thinking he's been hit by Alvarez, but it was a lovely cross caught by Martinez, the goalkeeper. You going to do another Super Bowl watch-along, says Sully? Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I like the Super Bowl watch-along. I've got my charity stream coming up in November as well. Get ready for that. Leon Bailey, talking about him, he's going to come on. Have another stretch here. Why not? Got to get that back working. Give me another couple of years, I'll be spraying WD-40 on my back. Forget deep heat. It's creaking like an old barn door. Lovely ball over the top by McGinn. Ollie Watkins. He's into the box. He's got some players near him. He's going to shoot a goal by Ollie Watkins. That's 3-1. He's absolutely roofed it. And I tell you why I'm a little bit happy. Because I've got him on my Goldbridge 5-goal predictor. So I've got Ollie Watkins. I've got Alvarez. And I've got Wissa. 3 out of 5. That's not hard. That's not easy to do, you pick 3 out of... I've picked 3 goal scorers this weekend from 5. That's absolutely fantastic. And that's probably put the game to bed in the 75th minute. It's a lovely ball. Lovely ball. McGinn. Watkins is on his feet. Lovely ball by McGinn. Defender Zuma probably should do a little bit better here because he's shown him too much of the goal. It reminds me of Ryan Giggs against David Seaman at Villa Park. He's absolutely rocketed it into the roof of the net with the foot. I don't actually think Zuma's done a lot wrong, and I don't think Areola's done a lot wrong. I think that's just absolutely superb striking ability. He's bloody blasted the shit out of that. This is a very... Yeah, you know, sometimes it's just not about a goalkeeping error or a defensive error. I just think that's top quality striking. Mark, why can't United play even like Villa? What the hell is wrong with them, says Nishank. That's a lovely goal. Ollie Watkins scored it. I'm sure a lot of you have got him in your FPL as well. And that's 3-1. It's looking very good for Aston Villa. 19 points, 5th in the league. 2 points off the top. 2 points off Man City. 2 points off Man City now for Villa. The scary thing about Villa is their next few games in the Premier League. Luton at home, Forest away, and Fulham at home. They could take 9 from 9. Villa and Liverpool have got some really winnable games coming up. I think Spurs have as well, but Villa and Liverpool have got really winnable games. I'd fully expect Liverpool to win their next 3, and I think Villa have got a great chance of winning their next 3 as well. So, yeah. Just going to have a quick look, actually. Let me have a look. Fancy Premier League. There's a substitution. There's a transfer I would make right here, right now, if I can. But I bet he's too much bloody money. Yeah, he's $1 million more than I've got. But I haven't got the money. I ain't got the fucking money to do it. There's no way I can do it. Stick it. Stick as you are, Goldbridge. Don't worry. Don't panic. RK says, I've said it before, Villa have got a great squad. They'll be challenging for top 6 over the next few years. Villa's big problem this year is Thursday night football, isn't it? You know, you're at home to Luton next week, but Luton will not be playing midweek, so they might have more energy. But the challenge for Emery is to manage Thursday night football and weekend football. Trini says, and people would rather have Tony over Watkins. Don't do drugs, kids. Yeah, Fred, you're right. Brighton and Villa have that whole Thursday night football thing going on, which weirdly they wouldn't normally have, and I think they'd be in a better position to get top 6. What do you do when Man United lose a game? Because I don't know what to do, at least for the next couple of hours. It's been too often. Share some tips, says Paul. Well, you know what I do when Man United lose a game. I'm pretty much live with you when it happens, and then for the next hour afterwards. I think it's become such a regular occurrence over the last few years that, you know, you get it off your chest and then you try to do something else, like put a film on or something, but it's become too much. Like you say, it's become such a regular occurrence for Man United to play bad and lose games that it's sort of it's typical, isn't it? It starts to lose its shock value. Oh, Villa are playing some lovely stuff here, and Watkins is in again, and he might do the same thing again. Oh, West Ham need to be careful here because this is what they did to Brighton. They ended up boosting their goal difference. Look at Villa's goal difference, +8. Very good. Oh, to be a Villa fan at the moment. They're loving it. Have you got 4 hours to go and watch Killers of the Flower Moon? I want to watch it, Doctor Strange, but I haven't got 4 hours. No way. I don't know why I'm so tired. I actually slept quite well last night. Jack had a dream about me last night. No more. Don't want any more details. Oh, Antonio! Oh, Bowen tried to head it in as well. West Ham still pushing. I tell you what, if they could get another goal back, they would have time for a third. I don't think it's going to happen. Do you think United will get in the top 6? Well, you look at that league table and you'd say United can get back into it. But what United need is for Villa to fall away, Spurs to fall away, Brighton to fall away. And then they probably can get top 6. Just by the fact that the reason we got top 4 last year was because Liverpool and Chelsea fell off. So I think that for United to get top 6, they need some teams to drop off. If Villa keep playing like they are, and Newcastle keep playing like they are, then I can see that top 6 getting locked out. And let's not forget, Chelsea are also looking at it the same way as United are looking at it. I think Brighton are a bit hit and miss this year. Never write Brighton off, but they're a little bit hit and miss this year. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think Newcastle look very impressive again this season and look, Newcastle's start to the season wasn't amazing, but they had a very tough start to the season, Newcastle. They've played Man City, they've played Liverpool. I can't think who else Newcastle have played, actually. Maybe it's not that difficult. Here's Jared Bowen. Oh my God, he's nearly done it again. Puts a cross in, deflects off a Villa player. Martinez is like, where's that going? It lands on the roof of the net. Yeah, Newcastle have played Brighton, of course. Played Villa. Yeah, so they've had a relatively difficult start to the season. United's run of games actually are quite good. I was looking at them last night when we were playing. We've got obviously Man City is difficult on the 29th, but after that November's quite good. We've got Fulham away could be difficult actually. I hate to say it, but Fulham away could be difficult for United. Luton at home. I mean, if you lose, Forest did it yesterday, fine, but really top half of the table, you've got to beat Luton at home, otherwise that's a disaster. So Luton at home, I'd expect us to win that. Then we've got Everton away, which, to be honest, could be quite a difficult game. You never know with Everton at Goodison. And then we've got Newcastle away, difficult. Chelsea at home, could be difficult. Bournemouth at home, you'd fancy it. Liverpool away, difficult. West Ham away. Villa at home. So United have got quite a difficult end to November and December, but which means we've got to beat Fulham and we've got to beat Luton and we've got to get something out of the derby, because it's just I love the Premier League, apart from Man City, who I think are just better than everybody else, but the competitive nature of the Premier League just seems to get better and better at the moment, and it's very difficult to have a good run of games in the Premier League, because once you've played the Lutons and the Sheffield Uniteds, maybe the Forests, maybe the Brentfords, maybe the Evertons actually, but there's not that many games that are stonewall really that you're going to win. It's very competitive. West Ham are tough, Chelsea are tough, Newcastle are tough, Brighton are tough, Villa are tough, Tottenham are tough. It's tough. It's a tough league. We're watching Villa West Ham 2 years ago. I'd be down the pub. I wouldn't even have it on. But there's a lot of good teams in this league now. There's a lot of good managers in this league now. I think what is very obvious, and a lot of people will realise, is that we shouldn't be surprised that Villa are doing well when they've got a manager like Emery. Ange has gone into Spurs and done a really, really good job. Brighton have got a good coach. There's a lot of good coaches in the Premier League now. There's a lot of good quality. There's a lot of money in the Premier League as well. And the only issue with the Premier League is that Man City are just on a different level to everybody else. But, it's a compliment to Man City. But if they weren't in the league, oh my God, it would be... Imagine if you take Man City out of that Premier League. unbelievable. Not going to happen, shouldn't happen, but I'm just saying it's a very competitive league. Saliba, 80%. I should have closed that down. If you've got any other either-ors, let me know. Please do subscribe. I don't know whether we've hit 46,000 subscribers, but we were getting close. We're only 30 away. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with That's Football. Let's see if we can hit that. We've still got 10 minutes of this game to go. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Tillemans is coming on. We're so close to 46,000. Thanks everyone who's tuned in and watched this. Might not be the most glamorous tie, but I've certainly enjoyed spending it with you and having a chat. I'm on the United stand at 8 o'clock tonight as well. Quite a few topics we're going to be talking about. One of them might interest even non-United fans is why did we sign Mason Mount and what are we going to do with Mason Mount? It somewhat has similar echoes to what's going on with Havertz at Arsenal. Manchester United didn't start Mason Mount yesterday and we made 3 substitutions and none of them was Mason Mount. And it's a bit of a puzzler as to how he's going to fit into that team, especially when Bruno never gets subbed and Rashford rarely gets subbed. It's really quite puzzling what we're going to do with Mason Mount. So that's going to be one of the topics. Robbo says, I like how Sky waxed lyrical about Villa's improvement under Emery, but won't dare mention Gerrard was the cause for their downturn, says Robbo. No. You cannot say anything negative about Lampard or Gerrard. Absolutely cannot do that. For one, if they ever get sacked again, they've got a job back on the station. And for two, it just simply cannot be their fault. But fair play to West Ham for making it 2-1. At 2-0, I thought the game was over. But Villa have gone and restored that breathing space again. Why are people so thick? I've got people in the chat saying Mount came on as a sub. You don't listen, do you? He came on in the 88th minute. Like, what? How does that make my point any different? What I said is, he didn't start against Sheffield United. Ten Hag made 3 tactical changes with half an hour to go, none of which were Mason Mount. He came on as the 4th or 5th sub. My point is, we spent £55 million on him. He's been given the number 7 shirt. Where does he fit in? What has the fact that he came on in the 88th minute got to do with what I just said? He didn't start the game, and he wasn't one of the 3 tactical subs to change the game. My point is, should he not be starting, and what role is he going to have in the team? Him coming on for the last 2 minutes, I don't really get what you're talking about. What you're talking about? You're not listening. Dara says the point is you were wrong, but I'm not wrong. I don't know what your point is. My point is, what role does he have at the football club when you've spent that much money on him? Why did we buy him? Like, we were shit against Sheffield United, and he wasn't even used as one of the 3 tactical substitutions when we needed to change the game. Why is he not using him? What did we buy him for? What is his future? We'll be discussing that at 8 o'clock. Daniel says, top bloke, love your shows. I hope United can start to get going because it's very worrying the style of play Ten Hag is trying to play, says Daniel. Yeah, we'll probably talk about that tonight, 8 o'clock. Look, we've seen Chelsea in the last 2 or 3 games start to play some decent stuff. I think, what a goal. Leon Bailey, what a goal. Magnificent. I mean, they're all playing it now. I've played the game. They're all playing the game now. Coming off the bench, little shimmy, sends whoever it is for West Ham back home. We're in London. But look at that. Lovely bit of skill. Lovely finish. You're not going to miss from there anyway. But Tillemans with the assist as well. I mean, both subs coming on. Good attitude. Good contribution. It's just good football. You know what about Villa as well? The scary thing about Villa is it's not just it's a bit like Spurs. It's not by accident. It's just good football. Like, it's good that they play good passes into feet in the box, and then they've got players in the box that can make things happen. And we've seen it with Watkins. We've seen it with Bailey there. They've got players. If you get ball into their feet, they know what they're doing. They're on fire, says Tyler. Absolutely brilliant performance from Aston Villa again. They've destroyed West Ham. They destroyed Brighton a couple of weeks ago. I mean, that's 10 goals in their last 2 Premier League home games. Wow. The difference is the manager, says Flying Biscuit. I did say this at 3-1. West Ham needed to be careful because it could turn into something that's a little bit embarrassing, and it has. Do you reckon Villa will get Europa next season, says N? I said it before the season started. I think they'll win the Conference League. I think Emery will want to win the Conference League, and I think he will take it very seriously. Looking at our upcoming schedule, we have our easiest run of games coming up. Could be safely top 4, says the HPN. Villa, yeah. You're in the same boat as Liverpool. You've got 3 very winnable games. That doesn't happen a lot in the Premier League because it's so competitive. If you win your next 3, add 9 points to what they've got at the moment, puts you on 28 points. I guarantee you in the next 3 games, if you win the next 3, you'll have a good gap on people below you. I mean, you might be in a position where you're 5-6 points clear of the likes of Newcastle and Brighton, and maybe an Arsenal or someone like that drop off a little bit as well. So you've got a real opportunity to just hammer it home. The challenge is always when you go, well, Villa are playing Luton at home, it's an easy game, and then they draw it, But they've got a real opportunity. Do you think it would benefit the Premier League to change the main tie-break from goal difference to head-to-head, says Ali? No, I mean, if it's not fixed, don't break. If it's not broken, don't fit. You know what I mean. I wouldn't change that. 2 underrated managers on the next podcast, mate, says Nelly. Yeah, I like that. Always open to ideas for the podcast. Make sure you give it a listen. Lots of episodes there now. Goldbridge Saves Football. It's a bit of an underground classic. Lots of people are watching it, get involved in it. Out every Tuesday and Friday. We did overrated Premier League 11 on Friday. Lots of good feedback on that. I genuinely think Edison's overrated. Mount, expensive player for the homegrown quota, says Craig. Oh, here we go again. Look at this from Villa. They're on the break. Watkins on the right-hand side. It's a 4v4. In fact, it's a 5v4. He got his cross. He got that completely wrong. Watkins. A striker's cross that. The cutback was on. He's gone for the 6-yard box. 7 minutes added on here. PM says, can you get video for the podcast on Spotify? The podcast will be going video, but we just wanted to do 3 or 4 months of audio first before we launch it as a video podcast as well. So, yeah. How's your FPL, Mark? 59. I've not got anything to add today. I've got Son tomorrow. Oh, good play by Villa. Kudos. Martinez jumps on it. Daniel says Villa have been special this season. I think the interesting thing about Spurs and Villa this season, and they're both the same, and I'll say the same, Spurs and Villa, it's like being in a Audi A4 with all the mod cons, driving from Birmingham to Cornwall, got all the music you want, lovely people, you're having a great chat, but you don't know how much petrol you've got in the tank. You might have enough petrol to get there. You might break down at Bristol. You just don't know how much petrol they've got in the tank. And that's all I can say about Villa and Spurs. It's a great journey at the moment and it looks fantastic. But you just wonder how much petrol they've got in the tank. And if it's an electric car, you're never going to make it. So all the praise to them. But the concern has to be, how long can it last? But then I think the overarching thing is they're not here by fluke. Spurs and Villa are not there by fluke. They've not had a good run of fixtures or anything like that. They're there because they're playing well. 11 home wins in a row, says Jack. And let's not forget Villa's form from when Emery took over from Gerrard last season was unbelievable. So it's not a surprise they've actually took it into the new season as well. Emery's record across 2 seasons is incredible. Mirza said, why was there only one game scheduled today? I don't know. Sometimes it's been because of the Ryder Cup. I don't know today. I think it's possibly because of Europe. But then I'm trying to think. Brighton, Man City are a Champions League team, so they wouldn't have been able to play today. I don't know really. I don't know why we didn't get a half. It's weird why we didn't get a Sunday 2:00 game. Salah, but next week there's loads of Sunday games. Salah versus Bale and thoughts on Leeds Club City. Leeds Club and City, says Diane. I don't know. I find it difficult to discuss players from different eras. You know, Bale was a really good player, but it feels a long time ago, whereas Salah's playing now. Shaunik says, why isn't Ten Hag asked more about tactics and patterns of play in the presser? Is there any specific protocol on which questions can be asked, says Shaunik. Well, we're in the presser on Tuesday, so I'll get a question in about that. Jordan says, as a Spurs fan, that analogy is spot on. But I think I spoke to Newcastle fans a lot last year. Spurs and Villa are in the same position as Newcastle last year. They're enjoying the journey. They don't know how long it's going to last. They don't know when it's going to run out, but they're enjoying the journey. And I guarantee you, every Spurs and Villa fan doesn't give a shit about title races or top four at the moment. They're just enjoying it. Tottenham fixtures. The next few fixtures for Tottenham, I think they're pretty good. I might have mentioned them all. I've done them already. So they've got Fulham at home, Palace away, Chelsea at home, Spurs away. So, yeah. And then they've got Villa, City, West Ham, Newcastle. So, again, next 3 games, Spurs need to be winning them. But Spurs are going to lose some games. Villa will lose games. I think Arsenal and Liverpool will lose games. This is why I think Man City will win the league, because I think Villa and Spurs and Liverpool and Arsenal are really good, but they will lose. What happens when Villa go to Spurs? You know, it's a tough game. What happens when Arsenal go to Anfield? Tough game. What about when Arsenal play Newcastle at Newcastle? Tough game. It's I've done the Spurs thing again. Yeah, that's the thing. It's so competitive this season. I don't think anyone can win enough games to hurt City, because I think they'll lose points to each other. Daniel says City have already lost 2 games, but City always lose games in the autumn. They always do. They lost to Brentford last year. Like, they always lose games in the autumn. It's what they're going to do in the new year. We're in Birmingham, aren't we? Says Cod. We're in London. We're in London, aren't we? Well done to Villa anyway. That's the final whistle. They've been brilliant. So have all of you. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight, but we've also got Fulham at Spurs tomorrow night back on this channel. We didn't quite hit 46,000. We were only 8 away. So if you haven't subscribed, bottom right-hand corner, you can help us hit that. But all in all, I've thoroughly enjoyed that game. Massive shout out to Aston Villa. They were superb. And I feel that where they are at the moment, they're the real deal this season. It's all going to be about whether they can stay there or not. Thanks everyone for watching. Back tomorrow with Spurs Fulham. United Stand at 8 o'clock. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Take care. Really enjoyed your company. Some great topics as well. If you want to listen to something more that's topical, maybe going for a walk or a bath, get the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast downloaded. You'll love Most Overrated Premier League 11. We did that on Friday. Search it now, Goldbridge Saves Football. Have a listen. I'll speak to you in a bit.